Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the series about the FT Flyer, and in this video we're going to show about the flight test. FT stands for flight test, so it's a flight test flyer. In this video I'm going to show you how to lay out the plans to cut it. I know I already got one in a kit, okay, but I want to make sure for the people that don't want to buy the kit and want to try to do it all themselves, here's how I laid it out. Okay, so when you print out the plans, the wing, the printout will only gives you half the wing. So you have to mark one side, fold it over, then mark the other side, doing it very carefully. The problem when you print these out is they don't all come out on one page nice and pretty. Okay, so when you cut it out, parts of the wing, for example, there are 4 pieces of paper that you have to glue together, 1, 2, 3, 4, in order to get the wing just right. And now there's guidelines on the printout as to where to cut it and so forth, and how to overlap it. But it took me hour and a half to cut all this out, tape it together, and then figure out how to put it on here. Okay. One thing that helps is that you can also download the full size plan, which is everything on one piece of paper. Obviously it's too small to make that way, but it helps you determine, how to lay things out. Remember, this is a 20 by 30 board, and unless you got access to a printer that can print 20 by 30 paper and then cut it out, you're going to have to cut and paste and tape it all together. So you got the power pod, the fuselage, the horizontal stabilizer with the elevator, the wing, and the vertical stabilizer with the rudder. And if you notice, if you can see these red lines here, means you don't cut it all the way through. That's where the hinge is going to be. And as you make both the power pod and the fuselage and the rudder and so forth, these red lines are going to indicate where and how to cut. Okay. Also, for these that fold, it's an A fold, and you look carefully at how that A is made, and the side piece goes over top the big piece, and we'll show you how that works in a future video. So the purpose of this layout is twofold. One is to mark the corners on where to cut. So what I do is I take a nice Sharpie marker, okay, and I've done the wing, but let me do the horizontal stabilizer. So I'm just going to put a dot right here, okay, where you're going to cut. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots, and that lays out the exterior side to cut. So now I'm going to take my black Sharpie marker, okay, and the nice ruler that they gave me. Let me get this around where I can make sure you can see what I'm doing. And so I'm going to line up the ruler so that I can draw a nice straight line. Okay. And so and I go around that on all of them. Now the other thing to do is to know where, after you've cut this out, where are all these other things in here. So what you have is a slot here for where the control horn is going to go for the elevator. So I'm just going to take a regular sewing needle here, okay, and I'm going to just lightly, not go all the way through, but lightly mark with a small hole the two end points of that line. So when I take the paper off, I'll see those two holes. And then for this slot here, in which the horizontal and vertical stabilizer come together, I'm going to do the same thing. There's 4 squares there, so I'm going to, holding the straight pin vertically, mark all 4 of those. Okay. And so that when you take the paper off, you'll see those 4 holes after you cut it out, and you'll know where to cut this slot, where to cut this large slot. And the same will be true for here, marking the ends of the red and the 4 corners and the tabs here. And on the power pod, you've got a few extra things here. Okay, you've got holes here and here, 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 and here. So you got 6 holes, and those holes are where the bamboo gets put through. And and then you also have down here, I've already done some pinholes here to mark where the center of gravity is, and I'll have to fold it over and mark it on this side. And then you can mark all these corners inside to know where to cut out the slots for assembly. So that's the layout process I'm using. I don't know if it's the best or not, my first try, but I think it's going to work fine. And in a future video, I'll show you how I cut it out. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.